Hello and welcome to DC Monsters Late Hour. I know it's been a while, folks, since we've talked, maybe 2 months and all that, but I really had to figure out what I was going to do with this. I thought maybe I should try to give it another shot. I honestly don't mind if people don't leave comments or anything. I'm okay with that. Keep it in mind, I am not a trained psychiatrist, although I wish to do that someday. Keep it in mind also that my opinions are just opinions. If you have any issues, anything serious illnesses or issues, please contact your nearby helpline service or local authorities or whatever that would actually consider your help. So I'm going to be asking a few questions. It's your opinion, your right to listen. Although it's my right to ask. I guess my first question to myself, and anybody who's probably thinking this, why are we so enraged with politics? For anything, politics is basically something that just is something we only want to hear ourselves about thinking, but we also try to think it would probably help better the community. I honestly don't mind the idea of trying to better your community, but there's always going to be conflicts from both sides, even third party if you like to count it. But are we really getting what we want, people? Are we really getting the things we ask for in return? My opinion would be no. I don't think we get everything we want, even though sometimes we're just driven by fear, anger, anxiety. It's like an ongoing race on who will win, who will benefit from this. Honestly, I have a couple issues with politics, especially when it comes to families, but hey, what's family without going through the borders? Sometimes you just got to leave that out of your question, start loving your family, because let's face it, the only ones you got. Friends, well, let's face it, everybody's got opinions. They have their rights to come to it. Honestly, I just don't really care for it anymore. Politics, they happen, of course. It is important to vote for your opinion, but you can't be mentally obsessed about it. It just destroys the things around you. Honestly, I was thinking about maybe talking to a psychiatrist about this as well. We all want to assume we're right about everything, but that's not always going to be the case. We want to think we have every fact together, but it's not always like that. And we sometimes blow it out of proportion. Do you think differently? Please, feel free to give me a question or an answer to that. I honestly don't mind. But that's where I'm leaving it to. I guess my second question now is, let's see. Is the world clearly what we think it is? Now, I know I'm probably leaving the whole political thing there, but news, media outlets, social media, yeah, we see photos of places we want to see someday, but sometimes we just go crazy over it. And what can I say? The world is crazy as it is. But my last video, when I mentioned live life to the fullest, you have to live life to the fullest. You can't be scared of everything. I'm going to give you a little secret. I can't do planes. But eventually I'll overcome it. When I said to ourselves that we are born with fear, basically that's suppressing ourselves from the world too. There are a lot of beautiful and amazing cultures out there. And we obviously want to see it. So who needs hatred and war-inducing and bigotry when it's basically just nothing but empty ego that just goes on and on, when it just slowly controls ourselves and destroys who we really are? I wouldn't mind seeing a couple interesting countries someday. I'm merely just a person who's curious. Although I don't blame anybody who's curious at the same time. That's where I'm going with that. So far, anyway. My third question for myself, and probably to anybody, since LGBT is about to have our annual Pride Festival coming up soon, there's a lot of anxiety from that, but there's a lot of happiness from it. I'll explain both of those. The happiness part comes with people embracing who they really are. They're no longer afraid to be suppressed by society's rules. They intend to spread love and awareness to each other. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guess the bad part of it is the negativity around it. I mean, who's ever gone to a parade and always found yourself around street preachers or people who yell racist or homophobic slurs? Basically people who are just so much full of hate that they intend to try and bring it down on everybody else. My opinion to you is, don't engage. Enjoy the festival. Enjoy yourselves. These people obviously are just nothing but full of inner emotions that are full of hatred and anger. I think I once read a interesting Buddha quote or story. And I think this might actually help you guys too. So Buddha was walking one day and he was encountered by a man who extremely anger and anxiety, obviously you could feel it too. He was threatening to kill him. But then Buddha just stood tall like cool as a cucumber and said to the man, full of rage and anger, of threatening, "Let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a gift. You give it to a person. If they reject the gift, who owns the gift?" The man just looked puzzled. And he thought to himself for a second, and he answered, "Well, the gift belongs to me. I bought it, so it means it's mine." Buddha says, exactly. Now, let's see here. He's basically saying that if a person insults you and you reject that insult or that conflict, then it will bounce back from you back to the person who's shouting at you, making them just extremely angry that you're not reacting to their negative insight. So basically, that's what I have to say about the Pride Parade. Enjoy yourself, spread awareness of happiness, and for those who intend to be negative about it, shrug it off. Let them be full of that hate until they realize they're just wasting their time. So I guess question 4, and I'm going to probably be adding that anyway. Biggest question is, why do we hate? Hate is a very, very strong word. It does nothing but create more anger towards everybody. We all want to assume we're right. We all want to assume we are special and that we have everything we want. Or we have to assume that we are entitled to it. And therefore, hate is meristically one of the negative emotions. What's the point? Remember when I told you that Buddha story just now? What's that really going to accomplish? That inner hatred, that deep ego. It's not going to achieve anything but more heartache and anger. Like I said, we all want to assume we're right about everything. But we have to open ourselves up to more ideas, positive ideas. If we rely on hate too much, it'll destroy us from the inside. It'll only hurt us. That's what we always have to rely on. We have to expand our love and compassion toward each other, even if we have different opinions. We're entitled. Keep this in mind. I'm not a healthcare profession. I'm just a guy with opinions. But I promise you, there's no anger or bigotry here. So please, feel free to leave a comment on what I should probably be asking the next video. And I'd be happy to respond to those questions as well. I don't mind. I'm actually thinking about doing a live feed next time. Who knows? Might be fun. But to anybody who's going to be leaving me a negative response, go ahead. I'm not going to respond to that. I honestly don't care. I don't even mind helping people. But if you have a serious illness or issues, please contact your local helplines. I don't mind letting out my opinion, but I want to make sure people are hopefully getting something from this. So, until my next podcast or whatever you call this, DC Monster out.